The cobblestone streets of Oakhaven always hummed with a rhythm all their own. It wasn't just the distant river or the chatter of market-goers. It was the gentle, persistent tick-tock, emanating from every corner, a symphony of time orchestrated by Mr. Varn, the town's revered clockmaker. His workshop wasn't just a place of gears and springs, it was a sanctuary, brimming with the intricate beauty of polished brass, gleaming glass, and the quiet magic he wove into every timepiece. Emil, Mr. Varn's only son, had grown up amidst this melodic concert. He'd spent countless hours perched on a stool, mesmerized as his father's nimble fingers danced over delicate mechanisms, transforming raw materials into instruments that didn't just tell minutes, but seemed to capture the very essence of moments. The shop felt alive, a place where time wasn't just measured, but celebrated. But then, the ticking stopped. Few years ago, a silence heavier than any pendulum fell over the workshop. Mr. Varn had succumbed to a mysterious, sudden illness. The clocks, once vibrant with life, wound down one by one, their hands frozen, their chimes muted. Emil was left with a gaping hole in his life, a profound grief that settled deep in his young heart, and a workshop full of silent memories. He tried to continue his father's work, to coax life back into the mechanisms, but the magic, the intuitive understanding, seemed to elude him. Each attempt felt clumsy, disrespectful even, and soon, the dust settled thick on the glass cases, mirroring the dust gathering on Emil's own aspirations. Years after his father, Emil still spent his days in the shadowed workshop, the oppressive silence a constant echo of his loss. He'd often lose himself sifting through his father's old journals, filled with meticulous diagrams, philosophical musings on the nature of time, and the occasional whimsical doodle. One dreary afternoon, tucked within a loose, yellowed page, he found a small, unmarked wooden box. It felt surprisingly heavy in his palm. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lay a single, intricately carved wooden gear. It hummed faintly with an almost imperceptible warmth, a tiny spark of life. On the workbench, Emil placed some of his father's favorites. Their delicate porcelain face were dark, their hands stuck. He remembered the days leading up to his father's illness. He was working on a number these clock, an ornate mantel clock, a small table clock. He felt a strange intensity in his eyes. Guided by an instinct he didn't understand, Emil carefully opened one of the clock's back and, after removing a rusted, seized metal gear, replaced it with the mysterious new wooden one. With a soft, resonant click, the clock whirred to life. But it wasn't just the hands that began to move. The very air in the workshop shimmered, almost like heat haze. The faint, comforting scent of pipe, tobacco, and old books filled the air, and before Emil's astonished eyes, a shimmering, spectral image began to coalesce. His father, leaning over his workbench, humming a forgotten tune under his breath. It was a memory, clear and vibrant, playing out before him. Emil watched, captivated, as his father finished a particularly complex mechanism for a client, adjusted a tiny spring with a jeweler's loop, then sighed contentedly, a rare smile gracing his lips. The vision faded as quickly as it had appeared, leaving Emil breathless, a single tear tracing a path through the dust on his cheek. The clock on the mantel started ticking, a quiet heartbeat in the revitalized room. This was it. This was the magic his father had guarded so carefully. His father hadn't just built clocks, he had woven memories into their very fabric. Each clock, when properly reset with a unique, custom-made wooden gear, could unlock a fragment of the past, not as a literal time jump, but as a vivid, sensory echo, a living glimpse into a moment. Emil's grief, once a stagnant pool, now transformed into a fierce, burning purpose. The dust sheets were ripped away, revealing rows of silent, waiting timepieces. The rusty tools were meticulously cleaned. He realized the wooden gears weren't just replacements, they were keys. Each clock required a specific gear, meticulously carved and imbued with the correct resonance, often from a specific type of aged wood that only his father seemed to have understood. He started with the simpler clocks, poring over his father's cryptic notes, deciphering the subtle hints about which wood to use, how to carve each microscopic tooth to perfection. The workshop slowly began to fill with the sound of his own focused efforts, the gentle scrape of a carving tool, the soft click of newly meshed gears. As he repaired more clocks, the workshop became a kaleidoscope of rediscovered moments. The regulator clocks, once a silent sentinel, now hummed to life, filling the room with the faint, spectral sound of his mother's laughter. A shimmering outline teaching his father to waltz, her eyes sparkling. A delicate cuckoo clock, previously mute, would suddenly project the faint, sweet aroma of burnt treacle tarts, revealing his father's secret late-night baking habit. Emil remembered moments of profound joy, quiet contemplation, and intense frustration as his father grappled with complex designs, muttering to himself, then finally achieving a breakthrough. He felt closer to his parents in his mind than he had in years, surrounded by their shared history. But amidst these heartwarming echoes, a disquieting pattern began to emerge, remembered Emil. Many of the later memories, especially those from the period leading up to his father's illness, were fragmented, tinged with a strange unease. His father often appeared distant, distracted, sometimes even fearful. There were fleeting glimpses of unusual clients with shadowed faces, strange symbols resembling constellations scribbled in the margins of his father's later journals, and a recurring, unsettling image of a peculiar, almost alien-looking pocket watch that his father seemed obsessed with, its surface swirling with impossible colors. This wasn't just a journey of healing. It was becoming a relentless quest for a hidden, unsettling truth for Emil. One evening, exhausted but driven, Emil stumbled upon a series of heavily encrypted entries in his father's final, leather-bound journal. The words, a jumble of ancient languages, and what appeared to be his father's own specialized clockmaker's code, spoke of chronal instability, temporal fissures, and a great distortion threatening Oakhaven. His father hadn't merely been building clocks for decoration. He had been building intricate defenses. The most complex clock, a colossal, unfinished structure towering over everything else in the center of the workshop. A vast framework of brass and steel gears spanning the height of the room was called the Heart of Oakhaven. It was meant to be the town's ultimate protector. Then, Emil discovered it, the final, most intricate wooden gear sketch. It was incomplete, but exquisitely detailed, labeled simply, "The Key to the Heart." The accompanying note, scrawled in his father's hurried hand, read, "The truth lies not within the arms of a clock, but in understanding its rhythm."
Hello everyone, this is Vanguard Seeker, and I am excited to welcome you to a story that, while crafted with the cutting edge of AI, resonates with something deeply, wonderfully human. Today we meet the Clockmaker's son. It's a tale of a quiet town called Oakhaven, a boy named Emil, and a workshop filled with silent clocks. At its heart, this is a story about grief, memory, and the unexpected ways we find purpose when everything seems to stop. As you watch Emil navigate his father's mysterious legacy, please remember that the pursuit of truth, the longing for connections, and the strength found in unexpected places are universal human experiences. This film explores how even forgotten objects can hold profound meaning, and how our deepest challenges can reveal hidden strengths. So prepare to be drawn into Emil's world, where every moving part of a clock, every rediscovered memory leads him closer to an astonishing truth. This is a journey we all, in our own way, might recognize. Let the story continue. Thank you.